happens if you wake up one day and you have a question? And the question won't go away. And the question is, what am I supposed to be doing while I'm here? When you go searching in the East, there's a power there. And whoever gets the power is the teacher, the guru. In the beginning, you think you have the power. In the end, you see that the power has you. It's a lot easier to get that power than it is to get rid of it. This is what I looked like when I was sitting on the corner of 86th Street and Central Park West when I came back from India. That was part of my cult that became my cult. I was working in Arizona, making a lot of money. So I shopped around and I found a house designed by the major architect in the world. I took out my checkbook to write a check to pay for the whole house. But I stopped and I thought, what happens next year when I make more money? Am I going to have to buy another house? And then another house? Is that what I'm in the world for? I did the only thing possible. I became depressed. But it was the 60s, and somebody came by and gave me a strange cigarette. Wow, everything got happy. Wonderful. So why did so-called normal people become hippies and leave society? You have to understand what society did to a person or still does. Everything is physical, only physical. There's rules and regulations that didn't make sense. And the generation got fed up with it. Just wanted to be free. Leave me alone. So there we were in the 60s. Left society. Sleep on the sidewalk. No house, no rent. Love everybody. It's cool, baby. It didn't work. If it would have worked, we'd still be there. We saw the drugs were taking you back down to the same place you left. You never got better. You only were better when you were stoned. Is that the purpose of life? I ended up in India. I went to see the biggest guru in the world. Why was he so famous? He had a mystical power. And if you get one of these powers, you become the guru. I made my way to his ashram, his camp in South India, and sitting in front of his house were 5,000 Indians, all waiting to see him. So I sat there thinking he picked me first because I came all the way from America. Day after day after day, 2-3 weeks I'm sitting there waiting, and he walks right by. Then all of a sudden, one day, everybody started screaming. Running all over. I didn't know what was going on. The guru had a pet elephant. And this day the pet elephant went crazy and started charging the crowd. Wow, what are you going to do? I jumped up and I ran up to the front of the elephant and I said, stop! And the elephant stopped. I remember saying, what do you do with a stopped elephant? The guru came out on his porch when he heard everyone yelling. He saw me stop his crazy elephant. He thought I was an interesting person, so he invited me into his house. He puts me on his roof. I'm sitting on the roof, and every day he'd come by and teach me something new. Breathe up this side of your nose, down this side, up this side, down that side. I'm up on the west coast of South India, sitting in a broken down hut on the beach, practicing all the exercises I learned. After 5 months of sitting there meditating 10 hours a day, voices came, mystical experiences came. And whenever I walked into a village, all the Indians would bow down to me. What's going on here? After a year wandering in South India, I said, I'm not helping anybody here, I'll go back to America. I'm sitting on 86th Street in Central Park West, and hundreds of people come to bow down to me. Allen Ginsberg's laying on his face worshiping me. Ram Dass is washing my feet. Peter Max is painting my picture. 4 television cameras trying to climb over the crowd to get to me, and they're asking, what is this power we feel coming from you? So what was attractive in India to people? They had let go of drugs because they saw that the drugs just went up and down. And then they learned the so-called spiritual practices of the yogis and the sadhus in India. And they also get you high. They also give you a high. Their objective is to practice these things so you will gain detachment. You'll be able to be calm and leave the world. Become isolated, alone, no more desires. And during this trip, I stopped talking. I invented the sign language so I could say whatever I wanted by moving my hands. Watch, you can get it very simply. I'll say the words in the beginning. You want to know what I think. Do you understand? Understanding comes easy. So hundreds of people could speak this language then. 23 hours a day, I meditated. 24 hours a day, I didn't talk. I did it for over 3 years. Now, what do you think would happen to somebody to do something like that? You go totally nuts. I had more voices in my head than you have in your iPod. But the voices would tell me things that were true. In 5 minutes, Charlie's going to come in the room. In 5 minutes, Charlie came to the room. So what would you do the next time that voice told you something? You listened to it. And the voice said, bang your head on the wall. Well, okay. And the voice said, harder. Something's wrong. At the same time this was going on, some Christians put notices in my bathhouse about Christian healers. Now these Christian healers have amazing power. They could lay their hands on people in wheelchairs and the people would jump out of the wheelchair. And the healer didn't jump into the wheelchair. So why was I stuck in my chair all those years trying to help the people I was helping?
This is the power of God. This is the power of God. This is the power of God. This is the power.
I got my driver to drive me every Christian healer I could find. And what do you know? I learned how to do that. And I'm walking down the Bowery and I grab a guy. Get up, you're healed. He jumped up and says, I can walk. I haven't walked in weeks. I feel the power. Hallelujah! I went around healing people wherever I was. I ended up on the beach of Maui, Hawaii, walking down the beach, yelling at people to heal them. I'm walking down the beach and I said, I'm as crazy on this trip as I was on the Guru trip. But there's one thing they say in their book. You can either try to do the commandments or you can have faith in your religion. I said, I tried their religion. That doesn't work, so I'll try the commandments. So what was I supposed to do? I got in an airplane and I came to Yerushalayim and went to the Kotel. I went and I stood by the Kotel and I prayed like this. All right, Lord, whatever happens, send me just a holy person because whatever he says, I'm going to do. Immediately, a guy came up and said, you want to put on tefillin? Every day for the past 28, 29, almost 30 years, I go to the Kotel in the afternoon and I put tefillin on people. I got pretty good at it. I learned how to, hey, come here, let's take your Jewish blood pressure. Anything I can do to make them laugh. Anyway, just so I can bring them in. Mother Jewish, go put on tefillin. You're Jewish, tefillin. אשר קידשנו, במצוותיו וציוונו, מניח תפילין. Don't talk now, hold still. Hold your hand right there. You gotta marry a Jewish girl. You understand? So why did I stay with the Torah all these years? Why didn't I move on like I did in the other trips? Wherever I went, I said, as long as it works, I'm going to stay here. As soon as it doesn't work, I'm out of here. And so far, it's been working here. If you practice the Torah only with the physical aspects, the details, it's going to become a burden. But if you also include the spiritual aspects to Torah, then every mitzvah you do becomes elevating. The problem is that these Israelis have not found the spiritual perspective in the Torah here. And where do they go? They go to the guru there. And they see, wow, this guy's talking about exciting things. Not like the rabbis who said, you got to do this and you got to do that. If they would find the spiritual perspective here, there would be no thought to leave here to go look for that over there. If a person born in a religious family, in a religious community for generation, they're very content just to do what they're supposed to do. The black hat and the tefillin and the Shabbos, it's enough for them. But for someone who's searched around the world, it's not enough. And we need more. We need to see some light. We need to see some experience, some reason and purpose, some reality now. And this is the advantage that the Israelis that are not religious have, but they don't know it. They can bring with them that thirst for spirituality and search and find it themselves. Why is it hidden? Why has it been lost? It seems to me the rabbis are afraid that if someone will go off into the spiritual, he might forget the physical. We need the physical. The soul without a body can do nothing. But the body without a soul is dead.